How will you react if somebody says to your face, while in front of many people, "You are incompetent"? Will you retaliate by slinging an insult as well? Or will you keep quiet and hold back the tears from your anger? In this Quickie session, I will share with you the best way to handle this situation as I share with you top 8 ways to handle insults thrown to you in public. Do you remember the last time someone insulted you in public? Do you still remember how you felt after hearing the insult? Do you remember how you reacted? What was the result of that reaction? When faced with an insult, it is but natural to feel attacked, and our knee-jerk reaction to an attack is to protect ourselves by fighting back. And we all know nothing good comes out of fighting, right? So when faced with an insult, there are better ways to react. For this Quickie session, I will share with you 8 tips to handle insults thrown at you in public. Let's start. Recognize the fact that everyone is going through different experiences every day. The person who insulted you may just be having a bad day and fail to recognize how insensitive his or her remark was. Assume the best that it was just a wrong choice of words and that there was no intent to offend or insult you. In this case, you are better off to just let go of the situation rather than starting World War III. In the past, I experienced my supervisor insult me in front of my colleagues while I was setting up for a meeting. I took the higher ground and just kept silent. And my silence turned out to be a great offense as her attack backfired. Our colleagues who heard her insult me called her out and shamed her. By keeping silent, our colleagues had an impression of me as someone who can keep calm and dignified in a pressure situation. On the other hand, by firing unnecessary insult, my supervisor cemented in the minds of our colleagues her reputation as an insensitive boss who should learn tactfulness. This example shows that silence can highlight your strength and amplify the flaw of your attacker. In your assessment, if an insult given to you is intentional, aggressive, or repeated, letting go and keeping silent may not work. You may now need to react, otherwise you will appear weak and spineless in front of others. You must avoid giving an open invitation for further abuse from your current attacker and other potential attackers watching who prey on the weak. One way to react is to call out your attacker by throwing back a question to them. The question may be as simple as a clarification on what he or she said, and this may be enough to shame the attacker into shutting up. For example, if someone says, "You are so incompetent," to your face in front of other people, one way to call them out is to say loudly, "I'm sorry, I may have misheard you. Did you just call me incompetent?" Your retort will hopefully shame the attacker in front of others. In case your attacker was not shamed into shutting up using the 3rd tip, throw back a question to let the attacker explain the insult. For example, "Why do you think I am incompetent?" And keep asking them to explain their responses until they no longer make sense. This will make them look like a fool in front of other people. If you feel intimidated to do tips 3 and 4 and would like to avoid further confrontation, you can call out your attacker by stating your feelings, the effect of the insult brings, and the steps you will take if the insults do not stop. For example, I do not like it when I am insulted in front of my peers. Your aggressive behavior is not helping the team resolve the issue. If you continue to insult me, I would need to leave this room. If calling out your attacker in front of other people does not work, you may need to have a one-on-one conversation with your attacker. You would need to set your boundaries and state bolder action steps, like reporting to a higher authority if the insults continue to persist. Resist the temptation to throw back an insult as well. Insults are usually meant to get a reaction from the victim. By acting passively using the tips shared so far, you are not giving your attacker what they wanted from you. If you're able to give quick, witty retorts to insults, just be wary that this may backfire. If your comeback really stings, you may be surprised that the people around you might side with your attacker. You may now be perceived as the attacker rather than the victim. So use humor with caution. Being insulted in front of other people can trigger various emotions depending on the person at the receiving end. And these emotions usually dictate the actions taken. So when attacked with an insult, be aware of the emotions it triggers and properly decide on your action. I have given you 8 tips for you to properly decide. If you like this content, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Hit the notification bell as well so you will be notified if a new video is uploaded in this channel. Also, feel free to use the comment section to suggest topics you would like to have a Quickie on. Until our next Quickie!